I'm going to tell you something that might sound a bit mad. When I decided that I was going to get into property, I had no money. Like genuinely none. No savings, no capital, nothing set aside. And instead of sitting there thinking, well, I can't do this, I just didn't really think about it too hard, but found myself a mentor and just did what he told me to do. So I went and did it, and I went about it by going to around 5 networking events, and I found my first investor. She bought the house after I had found the deal, and then I'm managing the project. So that's the flip project that you've been watching on this channel. And I'm not telling you this to make it sound easy. There are definitely moments where I thought, what am I doing? Who am I to be doing this? But I am telling you that the thing that was stopping me wasn't the money. And it probably isn't money that's stopping you. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what I was told to do and what I actually did and how I found my investor. And the mindset that I think makes the biggest difference, because I never really stopped to ask myself if I was allowed to do this or whether I could do it. I just went ahead and I did it. So let's get into it. I signed up to my mentor in January 2025, and he took me through his program where once we'd got through a fair chunk of it, giving me all the different things I needed to know, he then basically pushed me out the door and said, go and network. So I am not a networker. It's not something that I lean into. I feel way more introverted person than somebody who's out there doing their thing. So I always just do my thing quietly at home, alone, in my own little world, and feel very comfortable in it. So I was being pushed right out of my comfort zone to get out there and go and mingle with people I had no clue. I didn't know from a bar of soap, nothing. So I did what he said. I looked around for networking events, found them, and I went to them. Did I feel comfortable? Did I feel like, oh, I'm sailing, it's a breeze? No, it was super uncomfortable. But he did give me the phrase that I had to use. So I used to repeat this phrase, and I felt like a fraud. But because I hadn't started yet, I didn't have a project, I wasn't doing any of that. But with each networking event and with each time I was saying this phrase, I started understanding more about what it was I was doing. And as we went along through the program, I could understand more and actually have an opinion about certain things that I'd learned. So, for instance, on my first networking event, there was a landlady who was in crisis about being a landlady and the ethics of that. So I could talk a little bit around that. So that was my first networking event where I was awkward and clumsy, and still somebody came forwards to me. And in the end, she was more interested in his mentorship. But that doesn't matter. It just means you don't have to be super proficient. You don't even have to know a whole great deal or even be confident in order to have somebody speak to you about property. There's always people who are further up the ladder than you, but who have different crises, who want to talk to somebody. So that was the first person who approached me on my first networking event. My second networking event, I went there and I met a lovely lady, and she was a property developer. So she bought and was in the business of buying huge tracts of land and then getting planning permission and then selling them, dividing that land up and selling it off to other people. So I felt like this small, and she seemed hugely efficient and proficient. But anyway, she wanted to come together and have a chat with me. And we did. We had a chat, and my mentor was there, and she was quite skeptical. And in the end, she wasn't going to be my investor, which is fine. It's all about learning. So I went to my third one, which was quite quiet. And then I think I went to a fourth one, a brand new one, which had just started up. And by the way, all these were women's networking events because I couldn't get to any mixed events, So the timing wasn't right. So I just went to the women's ones. So then I met a lovely lady with bright red hair, and we just gelled quite quickly. And then it was my fifth networking event where I met her again, and we had another conversation all around, just property. She was already a landlady, and but she'd never flipped a property, and so she was curious. So then I went back to my mentor and asked him, so I've met this person, and he said, great, reach out to her and just tell her that we've got several properties that we're looking at, and would she be interested in potentially joint venturing with me and purchasing one of these properties for a good return on investment. So nervously, I did reach out to her, and she said yes. And there you have it. I think it took about 4 months, and then I had my investor. And it was just about being there, speaking, and being available to listen to the different people that approached you. And now there are 1 or 2 events where people don't approach you, and that's fine. The whole time you go and every time you say what it is you do, you refine it, you embody it, you feel more confident. And it's only through the doing that we get that confidence. And then that confidence shines through, and then suddenly there's the person in front of you who's interested and wants to have a journey with you and join you on your journey. So that is essentially how I got my first investor. And regardless of the lack of confidence that was coming from me, the lack of believing my story that I was telling right in the beginning, but despite all of that, and just allowing myself to practice and grow into that role just by going out there and actually speaking and practicing and embodying this new role of mine and learning along the way, I actually got my investor. So if you have no money and you have no experience in property, but you want to get into property, I highly encourage you to find a mentor, to just do it regardless. And the one key framework that I believe was really important for my journey was that I never once, not even once, doubted my mentor. I never second guessed what he told me to do. I never said I'm not doing it. I just accepted that he said, go network. That's how you're going to find your investor. So I went and I networked. Despite my discomfort, despite my feelings of not knowing enough, etc. I just did it. I didn't think hard about it. And I think this is a really important mindset that you definitely need. Once you've chosen your mentor, just follow him word for word, or her, and just do it. Of course, research your mentor. Make sure that you've got a good one who's going to hold your hand, or to the degree that you want it, because there are a lot of really famous people out there offering these courses, and you pay tens of thousands for them. And then if you don't achieve the goal of actually starting a project, finding your investor, or whatever it is they're talking about, they don't necessarily hold your hand after that. That's it, your course is ended. So I highly, highly recommend finding somebody like my mentor to hold your hand through the journey. If you've enjoyed this video, then please follow and subscribe. And this is me documenting my flip journey and all the different aspects to it, the highs and the lows on this channel. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.